All right, with the recent resignation of Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., a House seat has opened up in Illinois. So who's going to fill this? Well, remember Mel, I hit the lotto, Reynolds. He wants the job. Now, Reynolds held that congressional seat from 1993 until October 95, when he was convicted of having sex with a 16-year-old campaign volunteer and other various sex-related charges. Now, while in prison, he was also convicted of federal finance and campaign finance charges until President Bill Clinton commuted his sentence to time served on his way out of office in 2001. Well, now Reynolds says that he's already paid his price for those, quote, past mistakes, and it's time for him to get that old job back.
I made mistakes, but again, that was almost 20 years ago. And President Clinton once said to me, who was kind enough to grant me executive clemency, he once said to me, don't allow the rest of the world to keep their foot on your neck. You have to go forward in life. You have to do things. I am not a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year sentence. Whatever you get shouldn't be a life sentence.
Welcome to Chicago. Joining me now, Sirius XM Patriot host David Webb and Alexis McGill-Johnson, Executive Director of the American Values Institute. There's the worst part of this story, because not only this girl, but when she said, oh, there's a Catholic schoolgirl, 15-year-old friend of mine, he goes, oh, that would join them, by the way, in the sexual escapade. Oh, did I hit the lotto? Now, where's the Democratic Party on, the people that were outraged over foot tapping with a senator in Idaho?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because we know that this bad behavior is not a partisan issue.
Oh, what's worse, foot tapping or pedophilia?
Well, when we talk about Mark Foley and we talk about David Vitter, both of them have had the
become
same
big
experience.
scandals.
But that said, the voters really need to make this decision. And to be honest, there is an incredible field of folks who are looking to go in that seat.
Not one Democrat that I see has spoken out against him. Not one.
Well, and I think more people do need to be. I mean, but I'm sure the voters themselves will police it, because people don't take Mel Reynolds seriously.
Decision, though, Sean.
They're not going to take him seriously.
Look at Chicago's 2nd District. Poverty rate, 22%, 20% unemployment rate. Education, only 21% of district residents actually earn a bachelor's. The national average is 28.5. Here's a guy that was a Rhodes Scholar, that was a basketball player in the European basketball leagues. He was known for liking the young girls, known for liking to play fast and loose. And why is this any surprise, though? Because here's another guy who's a member of the CDC, and let's look at the credentials of Al C. Hastings, an impeached federal judge. When you look at the fact that what we're dealing with is a culture problem, that Democrats accept that a guy that has sex with a minor, which is statutory rape, but a bigger issue, he was put in jail for misusing money meant for voter registration efforts. Do we want somebody making decisions when Congress spends the money who was convicted of fraud?
No, the answer is no.
No,
but wait a minute.
Don't.
But there's a question here that we've got to have answered. Mark Foley, huge issue before an election.
But an adult.
Good point. Foot tapping in a stall, senator. Wait a minute.
Reelected. Huge issue and reelected.
Hang on a second. But the point is that there was Republican criticism, and it was a big national story. Pedophile, convict, 15-year-old Catholic girl. Oh, did I just hit the lotto? And this guy's running, and not a peep out of the Democratic leadership. Well,
we haven't had time. He just filed his papers. I mean, this is a race. There are 15 people. There are 15 people in this race. It is really too short. The race hasn't even shaken out yet.
How about somebody speak out, though?
Mixing this into it, it's not a matter whether it was 15 or 1,500 people in the race. It's how do you identify the kind of candidates that run for the seat and deal with them? The media doesn't report on him.
He gets all he has to do. No, David. Let's talk about the process of actually putting your name in. No, because all he has to do
is in the reporting.
No, the hypocrisy is actually in his ability to put his name on the ballot, which is essentially getting a certain number of names to file a certain set of paperwork.
That
has nothing to do with the Democratic Party.
That's the process.
And in fact, they should be. And in fact, they should be. On some level, I agree with you.
Let David go.
Where is the party? And look, I hold all sides to this. When there's a culture problem with that kind of behavior, this isn't I mistakenly did something. This was deliberate acts of misusing money, deliberate acts of sex with a 20-plus year younger woman or child. not a woman. And you're telling me that if there was a Republican doing this, Sean, I'd be out on the news with it like any responsible person.
Okay, and where were you all on David Vitter? I mean, where were you all on Mark Foley?
But again, we're dealing with children, and I got to tell you something. We did talk a lot about Mark Foley, and we did talk about Vitter,
Larry Craig, all of them.
And we did talk about Larry Craig, and that's the point. Is nobody's talking about Reynolds. And I don't know if, look, some of this stuff, it's sad what people in power do and the arrogance that drives them, 100%. But there's a double standard. And that is, and I'm like, and it's driven by Democrats.
Okay, no. David Vitter actually got reelected, right? With 67% of the vote. So that is not, but we're talking about character. We're going to the point of character, not just criminality. We're going to the point of character, and that is a huge challenge on both sides.
I want to talk about Mel, I hit the lotto Reynolds.
It's a partisan challenge. It has, I mean, it's a nonpartisan challenge. It has nothing to do with Mel Reynolds. Mel Reynolds is not going to win the seat.
But Barney Frank,
there are 15 other talented people.
We have, and I spoke, he had a guy running a prostitution ring in his house. And then Gary Studs, remember him years ago? All of these things come up. All those guys got reelected, right?
But here's the thing. Look who he's replacing. Jesse Jackson Jr. Ethics charges, millions of dollars misspent in those allegations. The mistress, something his father did very well. On top of that, not serving Chicago's 2nd District. When you look at the stats I point out about poverty rate, about what that district is doing, you know what? They will go because of identity politics in the Chicago machine and either elect this Marion Barry-like reject. I guess R. Kelly wasn't available for them to go pick on this kind of character.
I got to tell you. I got to tell you.
In that case,
but that's what we're dealing with.
The bee set me up. War on women, right?
No, I think first of all we have to talk about the fact that, and actually I appreciate the fact that David is bringing up the real challenges in Chicago, because there are kids, and we've had this conversation a couple of times, right? There are kids who are in Chicago who are hungry and hopeless and who are fighting for their lives.
Jesse Jackson Jr.
And Jesse Jackson Jr. We need to send our prayers out to Jesse Jackson Jr.
I don't care about prayers for him.
He has a serious mental illness.
Yeah,
and let's
his mental illness came up after his bipolar, after his ethics.
A prayer to his family around that. But I'm thankful that these issues are being on the table.
You know,
and Mel Reynolds is not going to win regardless. If Jesse Jackson was so great for his district over 9 terms, then why are those poverty rates like that?
Great. All right, we got to go. Good to see you both.